Congratulations, you have made it through Remnant from the Ashes, and you are rewarded with another friggin' boss battle. And if you're anything like me, you've already fought about 20 bosses to get here. It's been a rough and stressful ride. And you just don't want to have to die 20 more times to learn how to beat this boss. So let me help you become the dreamer's daddy.
Who is your daddy? Having fun now, Trent?
Hi, I'm Leon, and I'm going to be your boss battle guide. Okay, please forgive me for my silly intros. I kind of enjoy doing them. I hope maybe someone else enjoys them too, aside from me. So to start this off, there's some things you're going to want to collect that I think are going to be really useful for this fight. In Earth, if you go to Mudtooth's hideout, we can get Mudtooth Stew. Of course, you're going to also want your basics, which is your ammo cans. The damage one, which I can't think about right now, gives you a little extra damage and some reload speed. And you're going to want your Bloodwort as well. There's going to be a debuff when you're in a certain shadow realm that does a lot of damage to you while you're in it. This is going to help counteract some of that damage while we're in there. All right, this right here is our man, Mudtooth, and he sells a dank stew that's going to buff your health by 25% for an hour. And it's really cool. Unlike in Dark Souls, when you die, this isn't going to be removed. So even though you may die during the battle, you're still going to have this health buff. Okay, because of the nature of this game, I don't know if this was something just I experienced or if anyone else found the Lost Merchant as well, or the Stuck Merchant, my apologies. If you teleport to her in Yesha, she can sell you this golden pear that'll give you extra health regen. And this also lasts for an hour and won't be reset on death. But this is also dependent on whether or not you had this fucking guy come and kill her because you were trying to get the other two pieces of the set to the headset that you found when you were fighting this guy in the first place. F you, man. But that would also mean that you can't get your golden pears anymore either, like me, until you beat the game again. So if you can, go get some golden pear, stack it with your Bloodwort. You're going to have a lot of passive regen. Lastly, make sure to grab your most powerful loadout and let's go through this boss battle guide. So this was my playthrough where I won, and I'm just going to do commentary over it because there's really only a few things you need to be aware of, like that attack will blow you up and kill you if you let all of them hit you. This attack, later when you have them below 50%, will also suck you in. But aside from that, this is actually not a very difficult fight. Like I said before, you just have to be aware of these mechanics, dodge these simple attacks in this first phase, DPS him down as quickly as you can, clear ads as quickly as you can per the norm. I really feel like this part of the battle didn't need quite as much explanation as the others. That way I can also work on some other boss battle guides, because I really want to get as many of these out as I can. Alright, the second phase will go into this animation, which is not skippable. So if you die a lot, you're going to be watching this a lot. It'll be loads of fun. But this is a pretty tight boss. He does look pretty cool. It was pretty fun. But let's get into phase 2. Alright, so this next phase is all about DPS. Pelt him as much as you can. Use your ammo cans when you run out. And avoid the meteors when they spawn. They're going to come up in his wings like this. As soon as you see him start sprinting in one direction, just directly to the right or the left. And that's the only way I've found to avoid them. They have massive splash damage, and the volley of them will easily kill you. After you've done a little bit of damage, he's going to send you into like this shadow realm. As soon as you see him doing this little spin, suck down a blood wart so you can have some of that passive healing to counteract the passive damage you're going to be taking. So this is the part of the fight that makes it unique or difficult. I didn't know exactly what to do in here. I died a few times beforehand. It took me a while to see that when I was killing these guys, I would be getting a little bit of like a buff that would be stacking each time I killed them down in the corner right here. And once I figured that out, I experimented a few times. You want to get as many kills in here as you can, but you want to get at least 10. It seemed like anything under 10 wasn't going to do much damage. I was still doing decent damage when I came out with 8, but it seems to be over 10 seems to be just that right amount to be able to do enough damage to get him out of his chest cavity to be able to do even more damage. So right here, after I avoid these, you'll be able to see, well, heals. Alright, once you have that buff, you can actually start doing some damage here. If you noticed before, it was going to be very little. If you do enough damage, the Dreamer will pop out of the chest cavity of this massive beast. So once again, going into the shadow world, pop that bloodwort. I'd also like to note, bring whatever you can bring that you know can take down ads very quickly. For me, that was this flamethrower. Of course, I was bringing the Undying King's gun just in case I died. I love having that revive on boss battles. Plus, this gun just does crap tons of damage and from a really long distance as well. Very, very useful. Now we got those stacks again. Time for the Deeps train. There's an example of how easily that can take you out if you're not careful. Now this right here is what we're waiting for. When he's out, you can see massive damage numbers. This should be, if you have a weapon fully upgraded, about the amount of damage you should be seeing as well. And that's really all there is to this fight. I really thought about doing a more in-depth guide, but it really is just a lot of work, and I think this fight is quite simple. It is difficult until you know what you're doing, but once you know, as long as you're calm and collected, sprint and dodge the meteor shower, know what you're doing inside here in the shadow world, have some passive healing to negate the damage that you'll be taking, I really don't think this is that difficult of a fight. And I hope this was enough to help everyone in the community that is looking for information on this final fight, and I hope it was helpful to you, and I will tune out and let you just watch the rest of the video. All right, thank you for tuning in, everybody. I hope that was helpful to those of you who are trying to learn how to beat the Dreamer. If you did find this video helpful and you liked the content you just consumed, please consider helping me out by hitting that subscribe button or leave a comment. This is the only way that I know that you are enjoying this content and would like to see more before I move on to something else. Thank you very much, and I can't wait to catch you again soon.